Hi, and welcome to XR for Work. This is the show where we explore the immersive, mixed, virtual, and augmented platforms designed for business and professional use. My name's Rick, and I'm your host here at XR for Work. This week, we're taking a look at an immersive events and training platform that's driven from the desktop. It's a non VR title at the moment, but definitely falls in the XR category of platforms. Virtuworx is new to the scene, but brings some really solid features and functionality that grabbed my attention and that we'll be taking a look at today. And if you follow XR for Work, you're going to be invited to experience Virtuworx at our first annual gathering in July, where we'll be using Virtuworx to host our event. Now, we ask you to please give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you like what we present to you, please give us a follow. We're just over 900 followers, and we'd love to get to that 1,000 follower subscription point before the end of the year. So I appreciate you helping us get there. Check out our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Well, there's a lot to get to today. And so with that, let's get started. Okay, today we're talking about Virtuworx. And again, it's a non-VR title that's driven through the desktop, but it's a very immersive 3D experience. And so I had mentioned to you that we're going to be having a XR community networking meet and greet on the Virtuworx platform on July 7th. There's going to be details coming out soon, but we'll have speakers. There'll be vendor booths and chances for networking with other enthusiasts and professionals in the XR community. It's going to be brought to you by XR for Work and our friends over at the XR Crowd. You want to go and do a search on XR Crowd and find out what they're doing also and give them a follow and meet some of your other XR community members through their venues. But Virtuworx, well, what is it? As we've mentioned, it's a virtual events, training, and remote work platform. There's a couple of components to it that we're going to be talking about today. One is Connect, and that is their web-only capability to join and participate in virtual events using just your web browser. Real low friction, no install. You get a link, you jump in, and you can participate. Then there's Immerse, which is the desktop application that you can utilize to create an avatar and actually have a presence like you're in a virtual event. We're going to take a look at some of their spaces and environments, and of course, the features and functionality that's in Virtuworx. So let's talk real briefly about Connect. Again, it's their 2D desktop web browser access to events. Again, you get a simple link. You click on that link, you're in, and from there you can share your desktop, you can share your camera and actually participate just through the simplicity of your web browser interface. Real low friction, real simple, and it allows you to not have to require the overhead of installing an application. If your PC is a potato, if you're running real low or have restrictions on what you can install, low specs or restrictions, then this is the way that you can still participate in a Virtuworx event. Immerse is their 3D desktop application, right? So you can install this, create your avatar, and navigate around the event like you're there. The developers have assured me that they are working on a VR-based component to this soon. And so you can see an extension between the web browser to the desktop using Immerse, the Immerse application, all the way to putting on your headset and participating. So you can install this. It runs on PC and Mac. You can customize an avatar to embody you at the event, and you can navigate the entire event space in 3D in a third-person view. And if you had ever been a gamer or played a game with a 3D isometric view of your character, you'll be very familiar navigating the virtual work worlds. And then you can, just like at a conference, share your contact information, share your camera and you can come in like on a Zoom session, and then your desktop as needed, so that if you're one of the speakers, you can share your content and actually have a presence there in the event. I'm just going to change my view and get out of the way a little bit. All right. And then there's spaces to accommodate all kinds of needs: auditoriums, breakout rooms, expo halls, boardrooms, speed networking areas, and private meeting spaces. And we're going to take a look at all of these. Then Virtuworx comes with a ton of features and functionality. You can chat and voice call within the event with people you want to meet or friends. You can have a contacts and friends list to find other individuals who are attending the same conference. You can create your own agenda. So if it's a very packed event with lots of speakers in different rooms at different times, you're able to quickly build your own schedule and from a point and click interface be able to navigate where you need to. And I've been in big live events before where I'm running across an expo hall from one event to another event, even kind of wondering if I'm going to get in, and there's no concern with that here at Virtuworx. There's an in-app browser, and again, we'll take a look at this in a little bit, actually all these features in a bit. But it's very convenient when you're in an event that you have a browser there in your lower left-hand corner. If you need to quick check email, or you want to look something up or check a reference that's called out in a speaking by a speaker, you can quickly do that without leaving the app. You can share your camera, of course, share your desktop. You can visit booths that vendors can occupy and actually have conversations with them. And they can also leave files in the guise of brochures and videos at the booth. So you can even go up to a booth that's totally unmanned and still get at the information you require about a particular vendor or product. And then a group of speaker admin tools, so that if you're a speaker at the event, and we'll actually walk through this, you'll have tools at your disposal to help you be at ease and have a real successful session. Okay, first let's take a look at creating your avatar. And here's my Rick avatar, right? And right off the bat, right? Quick, simple, which gender, what's your name? You can from there, a variety of head shapes, hairstyles. I played around here a little bit with the hairstyles, and you can see hair color can go along with that. These are the only times I really miss having hair. I mean, look at that. That's incredible. I even get to try on dreads. Actually, that doesn't look bad at all. I may have to think about that. Of course, a variety of beards for the males. Then you get to pick shirts, jackets, bottoms, shoes, ties, bows, glasses, all the things that you might need to kind of represent you in the spaces you want to be represented. Whether, like me, you tend to like to get a likeness that suits you or looks a little bit least like you in real life, to something that's might be totally non-representative of you, but is something that you're more comfortable with. And then again, here you can change a lot of different things to get a avatar that suits your needs. Okay, let's go next to settings. And here we are. This is actually the lobby, and we'll be showing you more about the lobby in a minute. You have your menu bar right down here at the bottom is where you'll find all the features and functionality that we're going to talk about. And I open up my settings. And from here, you can set the graphics for your desktop, make sure that your webcam and your microphone are set okay, whether you're using a mouse or a touchpad. Filling out your account information is really important, because during these events, you'll have the opportunity to exchange information with people that you meet or with vendors that you want to follow up with. And you can fill all that out here, and then it's exactly like a business card that can be shared. And then as you develop or make contacts and connections, you can pull them up later. Here's where you can build out your schedule. So if this is the left-hand panel is the schedule of events or speakers or topics or sessions that are going on. This might be, a page of 20 items. You can select those, pull them over into your schedule, and then from coming to this setting item and clicking on that, you're able to be taken right to that session. You can see all the exhibitors that are there. Again, go through this, bookmark it. And again, just like setting a schedule, you can have these vendors that you might want to go visit later. Who are the speakers? And then here's where that contact information as a speaker would come up so that you're able to follow up or ask questions or just make a contact, maybe connect with them on LinkedIn. And then the same for the sponsors. You would, if you're a sponsor or you have a booth, you're able to fill that out so people can quickly and easily follow up with you after the event. Okay, and then we said settings, a tutorial, very quick tutorial on movement, the UI communications. We're going to talk about that. Taskbar menus. And then this was, I think, really creative where they actually do a leaderboard so that for a specific event, you can actually compete or track your involvement with the event in terms of, have you visited a stand? Did you download a brochure? Did you attend sessions? And then you get points. So it's a great gamification element for events. Okay, and then down here again along the bottom, here's the little browser icon. You can pull a browser up again without leaving the interface or the application or the event. I think in this case, I'm typing in my outlook.com. I can pull up, sign in, pull up my email and have that handy to me throughout the event. And then you don't have to worry about it being this little thumbnail. You can pop it out pretty big, move it out of the way, close it, open it back up later when you need it. All right. And let's go on to our next. We're going to go into the lobby a little bit more. Now, this particular segment, you can see it's not the Rick avatar anymore. This was actually recorded as I was meeting with some of the team members from Virtuworx. Mike was showing me around. And we're actually using a different avatar as we navigate here in the lobby. And you can see how you appear again, so kind of over the shoulder, 3D isometric. You move by point and click. If you click further, the character will kind of run to get to its point. If you click closer, it's a walk or a stroll. And you can use your mouse wheel to scroll in and scroll out. A lot of this content you will see here, these little posters, this exterior 3D space is all customizable depending on your event and your needs. And now, as you approach somebody in an event, to speaking distance, if you will, there is this spatial audio capability. So if down here in the lower right-hand corner, your mic is on, their mic is on, your headset's on, their headset's on. You're able to hear them and they're able to hear you just like you're having a conversation. Move away from them, the conversation and the voice and the sound gets dimmer. And of course, you can turn off your headset, you can turn off your microphone. So just like the Nigel avatar here has, he can't, his mic's off. Although his headset's on, he's not actually necessarily present there listening to us, but we could be having a conversation standing here in the lobby or in any of the areas here in Virtuworx. Very, very engaging and conversational in nature. And so again, I can move around and depending on how far I move from the participant, the voice would get dimmer and dimmer to a point where I've gotten so far away it's just like being in that real space. And so conversations can be had off into the corner and into different areas. Now, you also have this chat capability. So down here in this lower right-hand corner, you have the ability to kind of send a room chat to everybody who would be in that space necessarily. Or I can go down here and I can find the people that are online or in that room or people that I have identified as friends in that space and send them an individual or personal chat. So as I pull them up, I can send them a chat. You can also dial them up and do a voice call with them, regardless of what room they're in the platform and what room you're in the platform. As long as they, show green, they can accept a call, and it's totally non-invasive to the environment at all. So Mike could be in an entirely different room than I'm in. I could call Mike up, and if he and I are having a conversation, we're not interrupting the speaker. We're not, people around us aren't hearing that. That's just a conversation between the two people in that particular space and area at the time. Now, again, here in the lobby where you first land when you come in, it's actually a lobby of elevators, and you'll see above each of the elevators, you can see Expo Halls, boardrooms, auditorium. And as you go into here, the metaphor is, hey, you go into the elevator and you pick the location that you're headed to. You can also select the location down here, right? You have that little universal icon for location, and then you can pick them off of this menu list here up above. And, it's your choice of how you want to do it. Clicking the go to and then picking the location is typically the easiest. But again, depending on your desire to be immersive, running your avatar into the appropriate elevator and deciding where you want to go might be the way you want to play it. And so let's say we're going to go to the auditorium. Let's go ahead and go there. So if we were to go into auditorium, we would land here. Now, we've landed here in the auditorium because we happen to be a speaker. And this is kind of the speaker's prep area. So this is like the green room. It gets referred to, not green at all, but this is an area where as a speaker for an event, you can come in here, kind of get your thoughts together. You don't have the noise or the presence of any other individuals. You kind of have this timer on the wall that if you want to run through your speech, you can do that. And then when you're ready or it's time, you walk out the exit door and you arrive here on the stage. Now, it's important to recognize that these characters or these avatars that are sitting here are not actual individuals. The way that Virtuworx designs this is that any speaker will always have a full auditorium. So this auditorium has, I believe they told me 1,000 participants, but there could only be 20 people who are actually in the audience. But the idea is that the speaker will always feel like they are speaking to a packed room. Now, up here, you get the option to pull up and you can put your camera on, share your desktop, leave the session. We'll do that in just a second. And hi there. And you can see that as a speaker, you can have your avatar up front, but you can also actually be speaking to the audience through your camera so that they can see you. And then obviously sharing the content on your desktop. You have a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF you're going to share and speak to. Other speaker features here, like dimming the lights, you can do right here at the podium. You can mute everybody in the audience from here at the podium and enter and of course, leave. So yeah, lots of neat little features that, again, give you that immersive quality of actually being at an event and actually participating as a speaker at an event. All right, let's go next to the Expo Halls. So after we're finished our speaking event, or we've heard our session and we want to go now visit some vendors or businesses that have set up booths. Each hall is designed to host up to 200 avatars. Hence, you can see that they look very, very large, very spacious, and in each hall you can have up to 6 booths. Of course, oftentimes you're going to have events with many, many more vendors, but each event, I believe, can have 4 of these rooms. And so a total of 24 vendors can have booths, and there can be 4 different expo halls. Now, these booths have a lot of functionality and they have a lot of flexibility. So wherever you see one of these little pencil icons, that is a chance to edit the booth layout or the booth color or the booth contents. And so actually I believe we go over here and kind of give you an example of how we can change these. You can see that there are seats. And actually, if you point your character to one of these seats, you'll actually sit down, perhaps across from a vendor, and have a conversation with them. So here's where you can edit the booth and you can upload some files or content for a brochure. So somebody can stop by the booth and actually grab a brochure, if you will, virtually, like you would perhaps at a in real life event or conference, and that brochure would download to them, and they'd have access to that later. You can upload show reels or videos that can be watched and referred to later, and then of course website links that folks will want to visit either while they're there or afterwards. Now here. Click the icon for editing the layout of the booths. And so you can see that there's a few booth variants that you can pick from, depending on the layout you'd like to have in your particular case. So you can change that layout. And then once you've selected the layout, you can then edit various different things. Over here, this stand is where the show reel would come up. So somebody could actually walk up to this and start and stop the video, and they can make that bigger on their screen. And of course, keep it and refer to it later. But as the booths get crowded or the vendor's busy, perhaps talking to someone else, this can be information that somebody who's stopping at the booth may want to stop and see. Now, I think we're going to quickly take a look at how we can change some of the look and feel of the booth. And so you can see here that this booth's blue. We can make it pink. We can make it orange. We can make it red. So several things that you can do here. And then, of course, all the content, the banners, the flyers, the videos, the brochures, the graphics that go along with each booth area is customizable based on what the booth host or hostess may want to set. You can even set the flooring, right? Everything from a wood grain to a metal look, a more industrial look. Again, you're trying to give the folks who stop by a certain sense and feel about who you are and what you represent. And so even down to the tables, and chairs can all be switched out and changed to fit your needs. So this was very, very cool. And it's very fun because you get your creative hat on a little bit and determine how you want that to look for yourself. And then there are networking and boardroom sessions. So very much shaped like the Expo Halls, but what you'll see here is it's much more sparsely populated. And you have these booths, which are deemed networking zones. And once anyone steps into those booths, all the conversation is contained within that area. So nobody, even if they're standing kind of right outside, if you say the designated or the carpeted area, can hear the discussion that's going on here, right? So these are great networking areas, catching up areas. Hey, we just visited 3 booths and listened to 2 sessions. Let's meet in the networking zone and catch up on what we've heard. As you enter the networking zone, some of the information about who you are shows up here on the outside. The other thing that's great for the networking zone is that you can then break each of these areas in by, for instance, industry or job designation. So we might have one networking zone where everybody from the healthcare industry is meeting, and the next networking zone is everybody from manufacturing, and another networking zone for finance. Or you could do it by job title and say, we have developers who are meeting at 1 o'clock in this networking zone, and we're having enthusiasts meeting at 3 o'clock in this networking zone. So this just helps to serve to help identify perhaps which networking zone you might want to drop in on and meet some folks and have a discussion about what you're hearing or seeing that day. Great way to kind of get caught up, meet new people. And again, as you walk in and out of here and this header lights up, right, that all your conversation gets restricted to those that are within the boundaries of the networking area. And then out here in the center, we're going to go out here in just a second, is I think this really unique concept. It's not new concept, but I've not seen it in a platform before, is this speed networking area, right? So you can come out here and there's room for 10 folks, and you set a timer, and it's just random sitting across from people, introducing who you are, what you do, what your interest is, and kind of what you're doing at the event or the conference that day. And then the other person you might have been partnered with or teamed with across does the same, and you set this timer for like 90 seconds or such, very short time. Everybody gets, or maybe it's 3 minutes, and everybody gets 90 seconds to kind of introduce themselves and have a conversation. And when the timer's up, everybody switches seats with the person diagonal from them. And so you get to meet, 9 new people during these speed networking sessions. So I thought this was very, very creative and fun, and I'm looking forward to actually participating in one of these at our event in July. And let's see where we are here. Yeah, I think that's about it for the networking areas. And then I think we're going to jump over into the boardroom areas next. And the boardroom areas, as you might think, are designated more smaller, intimate meeting spaces. Let me jump to that real quick. Okay, here we go. Where smaller groups of people can have more formal types of meetings. And again, all of this is customizable based on, your particular graphics or icons that you want up here, of whoever's sponsoring the room or owns the room. And of course, you have the same functionality up here in the front that you can use. We'll look at that in a second. And again, all of this exterior can be customized. For instance, this is very fall and autumn looking, and our conference is going to be in July in the summer. So maybe we want that to be a beach scene, and we can work with Virtuworx to change that. Or you can even get creative and be in the clouds or in space, right? And so then there's functionality up on these front boards where you can, again, as you click join session, you can bring in folks who, for instance, might just be using the Connect web browser function to drop in on the boardroom. So perhaps the CEO or members of the board weren't able to make the entire event, but they want to meet with you at a certain point. You can send them a web link and bring them right into the boardroom. But again, from here, you can share your screen, turn your cam on. This is where you can invite somebody to come into the session through the Connect web browser and their camera and be present in the meeting. And then obviously, anytime you see these boards, there is this full screen option so that you can kind of come out of that 3D mode and have the content fill your screen and then go back out into the 3D mode. You can select your chair, your avatar goes into a seated mode. And then, as you can see, as we're doing here, you can utilize your mouse to get different views of the room and the individuals in it. And then that whole same spatial audio rule is still present here, where, you would hear people closer to you louder, people across the table, but all the audio would be available to everybody in the room. And then you could still use the room chat and the social function to send private messages, for instance, within the room or to even somebody outside the room that's still at the event. Okay, well, that's the whirlwind tour of Virtuworx. Very exciting new platform and for events and training. They've got a lot planned on their roadmap, and I'm sure we will hear more about it at the July 7th event. So there will be more details coming out on this. We will certainly be posting them over on our Facebook group, the XR for Work Facebook group, and also through the XR crowd venues. Again, it'll be focused on meet and greet, but we will have speakers. There will be both booths, networking. If you just want to find out more about the Virtuworx platform, this will be the event you want to attend. Okay, well, thank you so much for being with us today. We so appreciate you being here. Again, if you have any questions and want to talk to us, you can reach us at rick@xrforwork.com. Drop by the Facebook group, the XR for Work group. Look for us on Twitter at XR for Work. And then say hi over on LinkedIn. XR for Work is Rick Castile, Nicholas Johansson, and Tom Soderlin. So thanks much for being with us today, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye now.